So now let's see how we can work with repeat duplicate feature inside of Tinkercad. So in order to work around with repeat duplicate feature, first of all, I'm going to bring in an object like a wedge, as you can see right here. If I were to go around and use the duplicate option right here, that is Control D, then you can see that it places the duplicate object right over there. But if I were to go over here and press Control D and let's say, for example, drag it onto the side, let's say I'm going to drag it to around 10 millimeters apart, I can press Control D, and then it'll duplicate out the object onto the exact spot right here on the linear pattern, as you can see. I'm going to press Control Z a bunch of times, so I'm in the beginning itself. And if I were to go around over here and then let's say, for example, press Control D, and if I were to click and drag this around, then this is what you have. Let's say, for example, so I can press Control D, and that is how everything gets duplicated. Let me select all of it and delete it. Let me press Control D right here, and if I were to go around and change around its properties, let's say, for example, if I were to resize this out right here, I can press Control D, and then the same resizing pattern actually gets duplicated right there. So whatever you do, it'll get duplicated. So if I were to go around over here, now let's say I want to create something like a circle, then I can press Control D, drag this apart just like this. So let me just go around onto the top right here and then rotate this out as well, just like this, and keep it here. I can press Control D a bunch of times, and then you can see that now I have a circular pattern. So now let's say I'm going to press Control Z a bunch of times again, and then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make something like a spiral. So I'm going to press Control D, and then I'm going to drag it off onto the side just like this, and then I'm going to pull this out onto the top, resize this from the side just like this, and resize this out again. Maybe I want to rotate this out over here just like this, rotate this out, and rotate this out over here as well just like this a bit. Now you can see that I have a bunch of patterns. I got the resize, I got like rotation and so forth. So if I were to press let's say, for example, Control D, it doesn't nothing happens because I actually clicked away. So I need to do that again. So I'm going to press Control D again, and then I'm going to move this out right here onto this pattern. Let me just move this onto the top. So let me just drag this onto the top right here around 5, maybe let's say, for example, around 3 areas right here. Let's resize this just like this, change the size, and then let's rotate this out a bit right here, and then rotate this out over here onto this side as well, just like this. And now let's try around. All right, so now once I do that, you can see that now I got a spiral pattern right here, and then as I press Control D, you can see that it just spirals around over there with the properties that we worked out with. So it gets smaller and smaller, and this is the effect you have. And this can be used to create a lot of cool things according to what you like it. So let's just go around and press, let's say, for example, Control D, drag it around over here. Let's just go around and place this out. Let's just rotate this around right here, and then rotate this around a bit onto this side as well. And then if I were to press Control D, you can see that this is how it works. It just spirals around down right here, and then I press Control D, and this is what you have. So you can go around and then really use this duplication feature to create unique and interesting effects, as you can see. And that is how you can use the repeat duplicate feature inside of Tinkercad to create interesting patterns. So hope you guys learned something as always. And as always, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.